Hey, we're back again. Today we're going to be looking at Vira. Vira is kind of like a Shoto character, I guess you could say, but she has an install which turns her into a gorilla. It's the only best way to kind of describe it. The main game plan for Vira at the beginning of the round is to basically get into the stance, the install stance, Luminia stance. It's much easier in this game than it was in the last game, since she builds meter much faster, but she also has better options at the beginning because of ultimate attacks, because ultimate attacks like this and ultimate attacks like this make her much more threatening even in her standard stance. So the first thing I'm going to cover is her standard stance. I'll go over the standard stance and what you may kind of be encountering. And then once we've done all that, I'll go into Luminia stance and then how to deal with that. Because Luminia stance is a little bit harder to deal with because that's when she is at full power, obviously. And when she's in standard stance, then she has to play the game very differently. So she essentially just gets like superpowers, and then yeah. Alright, a round start, what you really want to be doing against Vira is not letting her get in on you. She has a load of moves that advance forward, and some of them are very advantageous on block if they manage to catch you, but your main goal against Vira at the start is to keep her away from you. She does have really good normals to help like basically pick on you from afar, but if you've got projectiles, you should be really using them against her because they counter her quite well, as she has no real way of doing it. When she gets 50 meter, she has an easier time of dealing with you full screen. They have this move here, the heat-seeking missile, it's the Luminia summon. Leaves her plus 17. Obviously, if she hits you, then that's a free get-in for her. She's also got the ultimate version of this move here, which is a really, really good way for her advance forward. It's safe for her if you block it. So, game plan 1 is to keep her away from you, because once she gets in on you, things get a little bit more tricky. So basically, the whole point of Vira's game plan in this part of the match is she wants to land this grab on you. It's her grab which puts her into her Luminia stance. It's very, very slow. I think at max range it's about 39 frames. Yeah. And then right in your face it's about 30 frames. Now, it's very easy to deal with this if you see it coming, because you simply can mash. Grabbing, I find, is a better option. However, what's so good about Vira is that she's very good at conditioning you to not actually want to press buttons, because she has loads of frame traps within her strings. I went into frame traps on a video I did. I'll post it above, just in case you don't know. But just for the quick reference, if you're not sure what a frame trap is, frame trap essentially just means if your opponent is pressing buttons, you leave a gap intentionally in the string to catch them, and then punish them for doing it. That's all a frame trap is. But Vira is very good at frame trapping. So the idea is, like, if you get frame trapped enough, say she does this, oh, I got hit, or she does this, you're like, oh, okay, oh, I got hit. Now you're going to be less likely to press buttons, and that's how Vira gets her grab off. That's the whole point of Vira getting her grab off. Obviously, as the match goes further and further along, Vira becomes stronger, because the closer she gets to 100, she can activate this and go straight into Luminia stance. So it completely, like, voids the biggest issue she had in the last game, which is that you mainly relied on the grab to get in, and getting in was quite hard. But in this game, she doesn't have those issues so much. So I'll now go into different special moves she has and what she kind of does and mixes up between them to get you to press buttons. I wanted to just put this bit on the end before I go into the special moves because I remembered it. When I was playing Vira in the last game, one tactic I used to use was this. If you notice, this is her dash, and then this is her grab. They're exactly the same. Obviously, it doesn't go as far. So you may see Vira's trying to do this. I don't see it too often because I don't feel like it's well known. But like some Viras will try and go forward and then block to try and make you think, oh, he's running in to do the dash. So they might do it off like this and then run in and stop. And then you might try grab and then they'll whiff punish to grab. It doesn't happen too often, but just bear in mind that her dash does look very similar to her run. So that, yeah, just be aware that she can bait you for trying to punish her grab, but I don't see it that often in this game so far, but it is something she can do. Okay, so let's go over Vira's special moves. The one you're probably going to see the most is Light Darkane. That's because it's -4 on block, so it's pretty safe for the Vira player to play out. It is a massive hitbox. It's also air unblockable, so you can get tagged by it because it is so big. So this is the one you're probably going to see the most in pressure. There is a gap between these two, but it's a bit redundant because the medium version doesn't have a gap between it until you see that lunge attack there where she goes like that. that's when she'll basically be able to frame trap somebody. And then you have this version, the enhanced version of Darkane. It's -9. So if you see the Vira player do this on block, you just need to punish her for it. You get your best punish off, because you can probably start a medium starter there, or a lot heavy, depending on how fast your character's heavy move is. But yeah, so she shouldn't be doing this on block. It's mostly just a combo filler, but she does punish her for it. But the one you're going to see is either this, or occasionally this, because she want to catch you for pressing buttons. Now the ultimate version is interesting. It's 50 bar, but it's +2, so the Vira can continue her pressure. But there's no frame trap associated with it. It is also, there's no mashable gap between, so she can just make herself a plus for free. So I'll showcase this now. Here's the gap between the light version. So she can do that. There is no way for her to do it other than if she does it from a heavy button. So she does it from a heavy button, there is no gap anymore, and she's safe. So you'll probably see that on Wake Up more. But then this version doesn't trap originally, but then it frame traps after. It leaves you at it leaves her at +38. So this is a really good opportunity for Vira to basically get a grab off. She can like mix you up like that and then go into the grab, because she is +38. So the grab has more than enough time. Obviously, if she does it too early, she'll whiff it. That's something to bear in mind. And then, as I was saying with this one, you'll counter hit her for trying. And then this one here, ultimate, still her turn. So yeah, these are the moves that she'll kind of mix up between. But you'll probably see this one the most. Alright, so we're going to go over the lunge move now, which is Scarlet Rose, I think. The light version is unsafe up close. She's -5, so you can grab her and you can blow her, but and you can throw her. But the one you're probably going to also see the most is the medium version. And the reason you're going to see this the most is because it's +2. So she can use this to continuously keep re-establishing her pressure. There is a mashable gap between it, and it is actually quite generous. You can actually mash when you see her leave the ground. It is quite a slow move. A lot of Viras use it to get in from this range. So if you've been hit by this version, you need to block, because it's not your turn anymore. And for this version, she's -1, but she's right in grab range. So you can grab her straight after. And then the ultimate version is a low, then an overhead. But it has a big wind up, which you can deal with. I'll show you how to deal with it when we get to the countering section. So, as I was saying with this, there's no frame trap here, but she can be punished for doing it. She does this up in your face, you can knock her off, which is the medium. And then obviously if she does this, she's safe. And if she mashes, she'll get caught. This version here is completely safe, and it's completely... there's no gap between it once she does it in your face. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set Vira to do her light, medium and heavy version of her Scarlet Rose. Because this is going to be the best way to kind of deal with this, because obviously you want to get used to seeing the move, and then you'll be able to react accordingly about dealing with the punishes. And you just set it to random playback, like I did with the Siegfried video I was explaining. You just do slot 1, 2, 3, playback random, position reset, playback random, enabled. And then you just run, let Vira beat you up. So what's she doing? So she does the slow one, we get the counter. What's she going to do? So she does that. I wasn't quick enough, but you get a 5-frame punish there. You can get the mash. And as you get used to seeing it more, so we grab this one. As you get used to seeing it more, it becomes much easier to discern what she's doing. Because obviously the gold one is gold, so that's the easiest out of the three. That it's the trickiest is between the light and the medium. So you can grab punish as well there, you don't have to mash punish. So there are 2 options you can do. The last thing I suggest you do against Vira is DP, because she can make herself safe fairly easily. So I think you need to rely on guard breaks 1. You should always remember you have guard break. I don't use guard break enough, but that is something you should consider using more. But to lab against it, these are the options you have. But yeah, that's how you deal with the 3 versions of Scarlet Rose. When it comes to the ultimate version, I'll go into it now. But in the middle of a combo, or block string, sorry, there's no way to deal with it. It's completely like you're locked in. I don't know why, because when you're full screen you can deal with it much easier. But in a block string you have to just hold it. And she's minus, I think she's 0 neutral this one. So yeah, oh it's 4. But anyway, yeah, all you have to do in that situation is literally just either hold it or guard break. And then that would be my advice in that situation. Okay, so one thing Vira players like to try and do after Scarlet Rose as well is they'll try DP after. This is partially okay for them to do and partially not. If she does it after light, you can mash her out of it. You don't have to hold it. You can just block it if you think they're going to do it anyway, because then you can get a much better punish. But just so you know, they can't get this off after the light. So if you're paying attention and you're quick, then you can stuff them for it. But that does not apply for the enhanced version. So if they do the enhanced version, they're only -1, so they can comfortably get it off. So if you think they're going to DP after this, you kind of just need to block. It's just a little bit annoying, but it is essentially what it is. When you get to Luminia stance, and I go over her install DP, the medium version, which is probably the best DP in the entire game, she will probably do this very frequently. And if you don't know how to deal with it, then she will keep doing it to you until you stop her. So, but just be aware that it is something that a Vira player will do. If they're doing it often, just wait, punish, and yeah. And then hopefully they'll stop. Okay, so the ultimate version of Scarlet Rose, it's a full screen low then overhead, which sounds really broken until you kind of know how to deal with it. It's basically just a knowledge check. Phase, the time it will kind of turn up would be, I'd say, the end of the round if a Vira opponent is trying to knowledge check you. And make sure you keep an eye on their meter. If they've got 50 meter, then there's also a chance it might come out. Obviously, it doesn't always come out at the end of the round, but I just always see it at the end of the round normally. That's when I see it the most. Because they don't get much off it. It's just a hard knockdown, or if you've got low health, it'll obviously kill you. So, the way you can kind of deal with it at this sort of range, I'd say, is you want to stick out a normal. Now, I advise using a low hitting normal, lower hitting to the ground, because the move starts low and then goes overhead. If you try to do moves like this or this, there's a chance that the move will still hit you. But I'll try to showcase that now. So as you can see, moves like this, just stuff it. This is when you're looking out for it. Also, if they do it in your face, there's a big wind up before they actually even get to you, so you can just grab them. That's literally it. It's really not as scary as it looks. Yeah, that's it for the ultimate version of Scarlet Rose. Right, also I want to talk about Luminia Summon. These moves are really slow. The light version literally goes in front of her. The medium version literally goes behind the opponent, so you. And this version will track your location. Obviously this one's a heat-seeking missile. If she does this anywhere near your face, punch her in the face straight away. Do not let her get away with this. This is incredibly slow. It's good for like knockdowns and stuff and like whatever, and some of it's good for combos. But do not let Vira get away with this, please. Like, this is something, it's so slow. The only one that you should be getting punished or attacked by is the ultimate version. That's the only one that she should be doing in the neutral, in your face, and you know, you should be like, oh, okay, fair enough. The others though, do not let her get away with it. Just a quick note I wanted to put out. Alright, so I'm going to go over Ultimate Luminia Summon. Basically, this is her best full screen option. You'll probably see it near the end of a round. She'll be trying to trip you out. It is very good. Or she can catch you full screen for pressing things. So it's a very good button move for Vira. And on reaction, it's very hard to get away from. It's like a heat-seeking missile. So I try and jump on reaction to try and get away from it. But on reaction, you can dodge it quite convincingly. I'm even delaying my dodge now to try and show my point. But yeah, that's actually how you deal with the move. Do you think it's coming? You literally just dodge. I wouldn't even try and do the jump. You can cross over as well, that's another option. And it leaves you plus. So if you're close enough to the Vira, then you can get a good punish on her. Obviously, if you're full screen, which is the most likely place you'll be, you won't be able to, but that's just the way it is. And EC even works in block strings as well. Sometimes they might throw it in a block string to try and get free chip damage on you, and then they'll stay plus, because if you block this, they're incredibly plus. You don't have to hold that either. So you can see, this Vira just is able to dodge it more than easily. So this is it. Do not let Vira get away with this move. This is the only Luminia summon you'll be seeing, should be seeing, in the neutral, I say, because some Viras will do this. You can run up and get a full punish on her if she does this. So, as I was saying before. Alright, so Darkane. Darkane's a bit of a weird one. The one you're going to see the most anyway is light version of Darkane. As I was saying before, it's so massive. It's an anti-air in a sense, and it's -4. So it's the one that Vira's going to use the most. But ultimately, if the Vira player is using Darkane on you and you really don't want to deal with it, I literally would just guard cancel. That would be my first thing I'd say to you. I would not DP against Darkane because she can obviously block and not commit to the other versions of Darkane. She can make herself plus obviously with the ultimate version, but if you get hit by that and you really don't want to hold it, guard cancel is really the best option for you. They're all mid, so you're not getting mixed up. So getting hit by Darkane really isn't the end of the world. There are some things you can do, and I'll show you now, and then I'll explain to you why you might not want to do it. So light version, as I said, you literally just want to try and guard cancel. You can dodge if you think they're doing the first hit of Darkane, but you're 0 at best. You can grab them, but the Vira player can still do something, and if they read you for doing it, you can get punished. Now the medium version, you can block it out and get a punish, so that's one option. You can also evade the second hit. And there's not much point doing this either because you're also neutral, so the Vira can also like DP straight after that. Also, if she doesn't do it and she does the light version, she just called you out and then you've evaded in her face. So that also isn't a good option. So ultimately, if you really don't want to deal with it, again, just guard cancel. I wouldn't bother with it. Now this version, the enhanced version, is much easier to deal with. It's very clear cut what you do. There is absolutely no gaps between it. You just get your combo. And if she does ultimate, you either need to hold it or guard cancel her off. It's just use plus. You can block and then do a DP after. That's an option, but she can block, so that's something to bear in mind. But when it comes to Darkane, I'd say either just hold it or literally just guard break it, because they're the safest ways to kind of deal with it. Okay, so the next sequence I want to go over is the one where she grabs you and then summons the enhanced Luminia. She'll summon him, and then she'll like land on your head like that with the flight move she has. Okay, so the way you kind of deal with this is you have to basically DP between that section there. So once the Luminia fairy has come out, you then do it. You then get your DP out. Obviously, she can block. So if you want to just hold it and see what she does, you wait for the lasers to connect, and then you just guard break like that. So there are two options here if you don't want to hold it. Obviously you can just hold it, but she is plus for this entire thing, and she's plus the minute she lands on the ground, so she can continue her pressure. So if you really don't want to deal with it, guard break might be your safest option, but if you want to take a risk, then you can DP out of it. So when Vira gets into Luminia stance, she gets a lot more options in the game. For one, her maneuverability becomes a lot better. She has this move which goes over projectiles. It also is a one-button anti-air. You can literally just press unique attack and she gets this move, which is really, really annoying for you to deal with. That's why jumping against Vira when she's in Luminia stance is ill-advised. It's probably better to keep it on the ground. She gets access to this move where she dives down and she has plus. It's a plus overhead, which is it's quite slow, but and you can counter it, which I'll show you in a bit. But if you block it, you really don't want to be pressing anything. She can combo off different moves, such as this move here. Or this move here. She gets little types of combos. She can cancel Darkane medium and enhance into a little dash. So this is standard medium Darkane. It will still frame trap you in this version. However, she can threaten a grab in between now, making the frame trap a lot scarier. And it's even scarier with enhance now. Obviously, enhance before was really punishable before, but now she can be -2. So this move is absolutely amazing, and also she can put this into her combos as well, just to add to all the extra stuff she gets. She also gets the ultimate version is plus, and it does the dash. So you get the little dash and your +2. So this is a really threatening strike throw mix, which is now come in for Vira. And she also gets access to the best DP in the entire game. This move is obnoxious as hell. At best, it's -6, but from a far distant range, you are not punishing this at all. It does have a fairly decent cooldown, but that doesn't really matter. Expect this after every string, because Vira will throw it out in your face. It is, I think, -7. It's still -6, but this move is amazing. So I'll have a counter section on that specifically. So we've got to kind of go over all of this. So let's get started. So if Vira's doing this move here, and then you have to block this, you don't have to hold this, right? So she comes down on you. It's fairly easy to deal with. Obviously, you can do a better combo than I just did. But if you essentially see her come in here and you think she's coming down on you, it is really a good way to kind of like just be ready to anti-air is what I'm going to say. And I wouldn't do DP. And the only reason I'd say I wouldn't do DP is because you can get really nice damage off doing a standard anti-air. It's like fairly good if the Vira does it quite well. Also, she can go back, so she can bait a DP fairly well, which means you're going to get punished. Whereas if you've just done an anti-air, then Vira literally will have a harder time punishing you, especially because this move itself has 39 frames of recovery. So, and even see the Vira, it's like exactly the same, 39 frames. So, when you're literally trying to deal with this move, don't try and DP it. Literally try and deal with it with an anti-air. If you get counter hit by the move, you will get a full combo. She will get a full combo on you, so that's something to bear in mind. But literally, the one thing you want to do is just anti-air with the standard move. So one thing Vira's like to try and do in block strings is this, to reset pressure. And it's exactly the same when you're in the neutral. You don't really have to change too much. Like, if you think they're going to do it, just do it. It's best to kind of stay at a crouching position as well, because if you try and anti-air from a standing position, you can sometimes get counter hit for trying, because you could be your reactions could be a bit too slow. But yeah, this literally is the best way to kind of deal with it. Don't let Vira's get away with it. And as I said, if they go back before they go back, try to bait your anti-air, you will be okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go over Darkane in Luminia stance. Obviously she gets the strike throw. But if you practice against it, it really isn't too bad to deal with, I find. Unless you use the ultimate version, then it starts to get a little bit trickier. But I'll go into that one in a minute. Basically, obviously, your option to guard cancel is still there, so don't forget that guard cancel is an option. However, if you just want to try and block it and react to the grab, from the medium version, it's actually fairly easy. So that was me, just waiting. That was me, getting a throat punish. And you can get a mash punish as well. You can kind of get used to seeing the dash after a while. And we clashed that time. I was a bit slow. But yeah, so that's how you deal with the medium version. It literally is, you just need to set up the training. Have her do one where she holds it, and then one where she doesn't hold it. And then just lab against it, and you'll get it down fairly easy. It's really not that bad. If you're just going into Vira, I think she is the most popular character in the game, I think. I see her more than any other character. Other than 2B, I see 2B more now. But anyway, yeah, so that's how you deal with that one. The enhanced version's a little bit harder, but still doable. But you'll only get a clash in this situation, unless you want to risk a DP, which I wouldn't advise because you can still do the light version of this move. But yeah, it really is just a case of getting in the lab and then practicing it and learning the timing. Now, ultimate version of Darkane is much harder to deal with because it's plus. Ultimately, in this situation, just guard cancel if you don't want to deal with it. If you do want to deal with it, you just have to guess between strike and throw. She struck that time. I managed to do a delay tech on that, but it isn't. It's like a strike throw mix, so it's not like in your favor at all. So I got grabbed there for trying to delay tech. So yeah, in this situation, don't hold it. If you don't want to hold it, literally just guard break, get them off you. Or hold it and then risk it. It depends. If you have a lot more health, I'd say take the mix. If you have less health, then I would say guard break. Alright, before we get onto the main event, I wanted to go over one of her supers. I'm not going to cover all the supers because they're just wait and punish accordingly. But the one where she turns into Luminia stance is -9. And some Viras will do it in your face because they will know that it's fairly safe, fairly hard to punish. So knowing this, you should really be activating your quickest, furthest reaching button from this point because the push out's pretty nice as well. You got there, get your combo. So don't let Viras get away with this. This is Vira's, I think it's her quickest furthest reaching poke, which is 7 frames. Find out what your character's quickest furthest reaching poke is, and do not let him get away with this. Just as long as it's not 9, it has to be less than that. Then you'll be able to get your punish on them. But you have to be fast. Alright, the main event, the DP. This is probably the best DP in the game, but it does have a fundamental flaw, which I'll go over now. Basically, between the 2 hits of the move, there's a gap. So if I mash through that gap, I'll get blown up. So it's not big enough for the mash to come out, but there are a few things you can do. One thing you can do is use an invincible move. Your key thing you're looking out for in this situation is the green. That big green strike, that's your cue. Basically, you're like, okay, she's done the big green move. Now I can get my invincible reversal through. Obviously, you can do a super, but the timing is a little bit more tricky. So you see I got smoked for doing it there. You've really got to delay it. But you'll be able to get the super out fairly easily if you practice it enough. A nice way to practice this is to do a safe jump. You just get her to do the move on wake up and then do the safe jump and then practice going through the gap that way. And then after an amount of time, you'll be able to get used to doing the move. DPing is the most consistent though. However, there is one other way if you don't want to spend resources. And that is to dodge between the moves. And you set this up in the same way. So you do a grab and then you counter the wake up option, but you have to dodge instead. And I'll show you that now. And you get your nice juicy combo punish on the end. And if you keep doing that, eventually well, hopefully they'll stop. But yeah, that's literally it. You just need to practice doing the dodge in between. Obviously, that's how you beat it on wake up, but beating it on offense is a little bit trickier. But I'll show you how to deal with that now. It's literally exactly the same. So you kind of need to expect it after the Scarlet Rose, as I was saying before. Obviously you can DP as well, like that doesn't change at all. The main thing, as I was saying before, is you need to counter it after the green strike. Because that's when your move will need to come out. But yeah, that's literally it. That's how you counter the DP. It really isn't too bad, like once you get the hang of it. Just go in the training mode and have Vira do it to you. But remember, you can. I'd recommend DPing the most because once she's committed to the move, once that big green thing comes out, there's no going back. She can't cancel it out like she can her other moves. But I think DPing is. But if you feel more comfortable, once you got used to doing the dodge, then I would do that instead. But yeah, that's how you counter the DP. Alright, so that covers the Vira Match Up guide. I hope that I didn't miss anything. If there's anything I did miss, just make sure you leave it in the comments below, and I will do a follow-up, but I think I covered everything I could about the character. I hope that helps, obviously. I do have a playlist now. I've linked it all together to keep it a little bit more organised. I'll link that above, so if you guys need to see any of the ones I've done so far, you can go back and go over them. Obviously, put in the comments down below who you'd like me to go over. I have Lancelot planned next. I was going to do him first, but he's a little bit... I already knew how to play Vira, so I just thought I can get that one, and I can kind of do that, and then I can focus more on the Lancelot one. Hopefully it'll be out in 2 days. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, being already said, that's pretty much it. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, it helps push the video out through other people, so hopefully they'll be able to see it. Like ultimately, what I really want is people to get better at the game, so that'd be really handy. And yeah, if you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so, that you don't miss future content. Basically, yeah, that's all. Take care, swines.